Now, I hate to be the one to bear the burden of bad news, but Game of Thrones Season 7, within a few short 48 hours, will be ending. Let's break down the final promo of the season. Now, this whole trailer seems to be focusing on the fact that Jon Snow and Cersei will be meeting up. Someone missing from the trailer is Daenerys, and the main reason I think she's missing from this trailer is because when she shows up, it's going to be epic. Although, some of these shots may elude me into thinking that something goes awry before this meeting. That meeting being the meeting between Jon Snow and Cersei. Cersei seems to be extremely confident during this meeting. She's got this smirk on her face. She looks as though, even though there's 100,000 Dothraki warriors outside her gates and maybe 5 to 10,000 Unsullied warriors, she doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat. Now, this made me think, why is this? The only backup plan she has that we know of, as of right now, going into episode 7, is the fact that she's calling on the Golden Company to come and help her. I just don't personally get good vibes from the way that she's handling herself, and I know it's these short, quick shots that we get of her from the trailer, but I just feel like it's written all over her face. That being smugness. She has something up her sleeve. What if something crazy happened, like Cersei ends up capturing Daenerys? Now, I know that sounds absurd, but that could be why Daenerys is missing from the shots. Although the chances of Cersei actually capturing the Dragon Queen, which I'm sure she's going to be on Dragonback, are highly unlikely. I just think it is possible. Imagine something like this, and it sounds like fanfic, but hear me out. Euron shows up. He in fact has the horn Dragonbinder. He then uses that horn, blows it, and instead of it having the ability to control dragons, it just greatly disorients them. So let's say Daenerys was flying in on Drogon, and since Euron blew that horn, that disrupts it, and then Dany falls off her dragon into the water and then gets captured by Cersei. The first few shots of the trailer are Grey Worm and the Unsullied standing outside of King's Landing, and then we are treated to a shot of Tyrion on the Targaryen fleet looking at Euron's ship and Euron's fleet. Now, this could be the moment where we find out what has been happening to Yara this entire time. Euron has been known to cut the tongues out of his crew members in the books, so I think he could have done that to Yara. So Yara may be mortally wounded, which would explain the shot that we get later of Theon hitting the beach looking as though he's just seen some shit. Then we are treated to another shot of the Unsullied. This time, the Dothraki are joining their brothers and meeting them outside the gates of King's Landing. They are shown that Jaime and Bronn are watching this happen. I am almost positive in this scene we are going to get several hilarious one-liners from Bronn. He's probably going to say something like, "Jaime, are you pooping your pants now?" You know, like, or maybe Lannisters aren't the only one who pays their debts, referring to Daenerys and showing up with all of these crazy screaming warriors and these eunuchs. Honestly, Bronn and Jaime have the most to be worried about because Jaime charged Daenerys with a spear, and I'm pretty sure she'll remember his face, and also Bronn shot Drogon in the shoulder with a bolt. I'm personally looking for some payback on Bronn for that. Like, yeah, I enjoy his character, but he needs to be punished somewhat for wounding one of Dany's dragons. This might make Jaime attempt to do what he's already done. When he returned from the Field of Fire, he tried to convince Cersei that Daenerys only used one of her dragons and that she is an undefeatable opponent. Maybe we should back out now while we still have a few resources that we might be able to survive this up-and-coming long winter. Jaime hasn't seen the dead, but the fact that he's seen what a dragon can do will likely make him try to go and further warn Cersei, look, she now has her full army here. We need to tread carefully. I think we all kind of know how that conversation is going to play out. Cersei is going to be like, well, you know, we have a child to fight for. Do you really think we'll be able to live our lives under Daenerys sitting the Iron Throne? And Jaime's probably going to be like, yeah, you're right, but we don't have another choice. The fact that you are carrying our child means that we have to think about the future. And fighting this woman will likely end with both of us 6 feet under the ground. Next shot in the trailer is that shot of Theon hitting the beach. Now, not only will it be hard for him to watch what's been happening to Yara, but I think it's going to be hard for us to watch on screen. Yara hasn't exactly been my favorite character, but she's definitely been one of the good guys, and the scenes that she has on screen, I do thoroughly enjoy. I might not have agreed with the manipulative ways she handled with Theon when they first met, but she tried to save this dude's life when no one else would. And Theon being one of my favorite characters, the fact that she tried to save him life gives her bonus points in my book. And also, she's a really good actress. Now, this shot does show Theon hitting a beach, and I assume that he went with Daenerys because you can see him on the ship with Tyrion. So this could be after he has a conversation with Euron. He's obviously just seen his sister, or he's watched his sister die, and this is how distraught he is afterwards. Maybe this will finally give him that willpower to overcome Euron, and Euron being like pseudo new version of Ramsay. So once Theon kills Euron, he's also killing Ramsay, and maybe that part of him, that Reek part of him, will die in that moment. Now, I may be jumping the gun just a tad bit, but think about it. Someone's gonna die this episode. We've had very few main characters die this season, and Yara being upgraded into a main character this season, it definitely makes sense for her to die. And honestly, if she was mutilated by having her tongue taken out, I don't know if Theon would react like this after the fact. He may have just watched his sister die. At this point, the trailer really picks up. We're given that shot of Cersei from the initial Game of Thrones Season 7 trailer where she's walking in to look over her war room, and this is likely right before she leaves to go meet up with Jon Snow and company. Then we are given several overhead shots of the dragon pit, and if you'll notice, Bronn is walking in with Tyrion and Jon Snow's party. So this would be interesting if Bronn has switched camps. What if Cersei tried to punish this dude for setting up the meeting between Tyrion and Jaime, and then Bronn realized this in time and then switched camps? I know he's likely just leading them in to meet with House Lannister, but this would be awesome to see if Bronn switched sides and joined Tyrion's camp. During the midst of all that, we're given a shot of Sansa looking quite somber, walking on that same bannerment in Winterfell that her and Jon ended last season in. One of the last shots we got from them last season was them talking about how they're finally back together and watching Melisandre ride off into the sunset. So this would be an interesting parallel if Sansa ends this season the same way, except for this time she's by herself. We have yet to have that voiceover of her mentioning how the lone wolf dies but the pack survives, so this could be happening in that moment. This could also be right after Littlefinger has just been murdered. No, I don't think that this is Arya wearing Sansa's face, and I do think that those two will end the season on somewhat good terms, or better terms than they ended last episode on. I think Littlefinger will be taken out this episode, and this could be Sansa reflecting on the fact that Littlefinger's gone. Her and Littlefinger have a bit of a history, most of it filled with treachery, deceit, and betrayal, but some of it had a few moments wherein she may have truly considered him a friend, and I think she's sad reminiscing about those moments in this scene. They show us a quick clip where Jon Snow's walking in and he's got Daenerys' top Dothraki advisor next to him. Cersei's there, Jaime's there, Tyrion's there, all the key players are in place, but Dany's missing. Now, she could be waiting and make a fashionably late entrance, but the fact that she's not present in this meeting scares the living crap out of me. Something could have happened. She could be captured. Like, there's maybe a reason why she's missing from this scene. Initially, I thought it's because she's going to make that dragon entrance, almost like the superhero entrance from Deadpool, but I don't know about that. All of her advisors are walking up and Cersei's there. So if Cersei's there herself, why would Daenerys not be there? And that would be the first time they're meeting. We do know that in the last episode, she was just talking with Tyrion about how she's not necessarily looking forward to her meeting with Cersei. The fact that Dany is missing from this meeting and she just mentioned that she will be meeting with Cersei has me worried about what happened off screen, like what we aren't shown in this trailer. Do you all think that Dany could be possibly captured by Cersei? If you do, let me know down in that comment section. The trailer ends with Jon Snow meeting with Cersei and Jaime. Jon Snow says to them, the only war that matters is the war that's here. Now, if you would replace that whole line and then just leave the last part, Jon Snow's been saying winter is here for almost an entire season now. So you can translate that into the war being winter. So winter is here and the only war that matters is winter, and we need to all fight that war together. Jon appears to be eating a bit of crow in this shot. He looks like he's biting his lip like he wants to be saying more. Y'all two are the reason why my house is in the state where it is right now. You all did the Red Wedding and you beheaded my father. I'm sure Jon Snow has so much hate in his heart right now for the Lannisters, and this is likely why it looks like he's holding back from saying what he truly wants to. If Jon were to unleash all of what was in his head in those moments, it would sound like he has a mild case of Tourette's. I want you all to let me know down in that comment section, if you were Jon Snow, if you were that voice inside of his head, what would you be yelling in that moment? Now, Cersei does look pretty smug as always, so I wouldn't be surprised if in these moments she took a few jabs at Jon Snow. I would love it to see if she'd mention how he started off as a bastard when they first met, and now he is king in the north. He was Lord Commander. He's come a long way. Cersei will likely compliment him, but then also slight him at the same time. Like, she'll make it seem like she's giving him a compliment, but then ultimately insult him by saying that he's not worthy of his title and that he has no choice and he needs to bend the knee, and this war that he's worried about doesn't mean shit to her. Get on your knee. Let's not forget that Cersei has made it clear what her intentions are with House Stark. She sent a letter to Sansa telling Sansa to come down south and bend the knee. Now, you may have noticed throughout my rambling, that clip that I just played, that was when Jaime and Jon Snow first met. If you'll notice, Jon Snow was having needle commissioned by that blacksmith in Winterfell, and then Jaime walks up right behind him. There has been this theory for a very long time that Arya will kill Jaime. So what if the first time Jon Snow meets Jaime, he was having Jaime's death weapon being made? The foreshadowing in that one. It will be interesting to see, to say the least, if Cersei plays the role in Daenerys where she says that she'll offer Jon Snow help if he bends the knee. I don't think Jon needs Cersei's help. I think the only reason why he's at this meeting is to show her that there is a war for winter that needs to be taken care of, and the war between her and Dany needs to subside until they can handle the threat that's looming north of them. Jon Snow doesn't need anything from Cersei, so because of this, I don't see him bending the knee at all. She might try to get him to, but ultimately he won't. You saw he didn't bend the knee till Daenerys officially came up north and saved him and his crew's life. And Jon was in love with Daenerys. You know, he might not have mentioned it when she first asked him to bend the knee, but he was more inclined to like her than he does to Cersei. Dany hasn't done anything against Jon Snow and the Starks. Cersei, on the other hand, does. And that, I think, will make Jon Snow not bend the knee. Let me know what you all think down below in the comment section. Do you think Jon Snow will bend the knee to Cersei? Hell no. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and these videos would not be possible if it wasn't for my wonderful patrons over at patreon.com. If you all watching would like to become a patron and show your support to Sir Hunt's Reviews, all you have to do is click the link right up here, or you can check out the link down below in the description. And as I always do, on Sunday, I will be going live right after the episode airs to discuss it with you all. Make sure you're there, or I will label you a square. The show starts at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you all again so much for watching. Game of Thrones now has only one episode remaining in the season, and then the long night or the wait for season 8 will begin. In order to make sure you're entertained throughout that, go ahead and slap a like on this video, subscribe, and then turn your notifications on so that way you get alerted every time I drop Game of Thrones content in this off season. The like goal for this video will be 150, and if you would like to be entered into my contest for once we reach 30,000 subscribers here on YouTube and you can win this lovely mystery Funko Pop figure, all you have to do to enter that contest is like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, then hop on Twitter and follow me. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews.